Thank you for being with us on this feast of St. Stanislaus. Our top story tonight, a member of Congress from Ohio has issued a subpoena to FBI Director Christopher Wray. Republican Jim Jordan says that he wants answers about a since withdrawn memo from the FBI's Richmond office. The letter focused on alleged extremism within the U.S. Catholic Church. According to Representative Jordan, the Bureau was targeting Catholic Americans and seeking to use churches in part, quote, as potential sources to monitor and report on their parishioners. And joining us now with his insights is Father Dave Pivonka, president of Franciscan University of Steubenville in Ohio. Father Dave, great to see you. A lot to unpack here, but first, I want to get your reaction to this latest development.
Well, I'm actually surprised that there hasn't been more attention to this. I watched some of the hearings and he said, well, the FBI is against this. It doesn't support this. Well, that may be said, but there's something going on in the culture that made this particular department in this particular town say, okay, we need to focus on Catholics. People are going to Mass. People are worshiping. So what's taking place in the culture of the FBI today that looks at Catholics and say they're dangerous? With everything that's going on in the world, they needed to focus on Catholics and being able to spy on them or watch them. It's just beyond the pale. So the fact that we're trying to get some more answers, I think, is really important.
Yeah, and Father Dave, you and I talked about this, when the memo from the FBI's Richmond office was first leaked and then subsequently retracted. And I know that you also wrote an op-ed for the National Catholic Register on this very issue. That said, what do you think is behind all of this? And how do you think we as Catholics should respond? What should we do?
Yeah, well, first off, we as Catholics, how do we respond? We need to just be faithful to the gospel. We need to be faithful to the church. And that's exactly what I think causes some people anxiety, which causes some people in the government today anxiety, is the reality is us being faithful, dynamic, living Catholic life, living the Catholic life. We live in a world right now that there are certain individuals in the government that see that as a problem, that see that we should not be able to do that, that now if I espouse a traditional understanding of Christian marriage or human sexuality, that I'm seen as a problem or even worse, that I need to be silenced. So what do we as Catholics do? We need to be faithful. We need to speak up. We ought not be afraid. We also, I think, need to become aware that more and more of this, I'm afraid, like the power of prayer, I heard you talk about the power of prayer. The power of prayer is essential, and we have to believe in that. But I also think that, honestly, we're going to see more trouble. We're going to see more pushback. We're going to see more organizations, more institutions pushing back on faithful Catholics. We're the ones who are now being labeled. We're the ones who are now the problem. And we need to be able to push back. What do I think is behind it? I think that there's a growing population that doesn't want to see faithful Catholics be able to worship, to be able to speak up, and I think they want to they want to silence us, they want to marginalize us, they want to push us to the side, and we simply can't let that happen. We've seen traditionally and historically, when Catholics are quiet, when they don't speak up, when they don't, proudly proclaim what the Church teaches, bad things happen in our country. So we as Catholics need to be faithful to who we are.
Yeah, and this memo, Father David, specifically mentions Catholics. I mean, there's no other religion mentioned. And we have a Catholic president, the second Catholic president in U.S. history. I don't believe we've heard directly from President Joe Biden about all this. How do you think he should respond, if at all? And what do you think he should do? I mean, your thoughts on this?
Well, honestly, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that he didn't come out the day after this memo was leaked and said this is unacceptable. And, I hate to see individuals who are fired because I know that impacts families and livelihoods and all that. But whoever was behind this, we need to be, and I think that's what Congressman Jordan's trying to find out, is who is behind this, and there needs to be repercussions. The president, I would love for him to intervene in this. Honestly, the power of prayer, we can pray for that. I just don't know that we have a president right now who's willing to do that.
Yeah, it's all concerning. And like you said, we have to continue to pray. Before I let you go, what else is on your radar? What are you following?
Well, first off, it's, to be able to celebrate the grace that is in Easter. And I've just found myself, as we've been hearing the word revival going on, with the things that were taking place in the Bronx and the Catholic Church and the Protestant school in Asbury, just this continual, Lord, come with your Holy Spirit, come with life, come with your presence and light a fire amongst the faithful people today. I think we need that. We need more of living as a resurrection people. I did a podcast the other day and I said, I think sometimes we as Catholics, we know how to fast, but do we know how to feast? Do we know how to celebrate? Do we know how to be able to live as an Easter people? So I just want to encourage everyone listening, let's be who we are, and that is a people that live in hope and the power and the grace of the resurrection.
Wonderful message. Father Dave, always so great to be with you. Thank you so much.
It's
God bless
always
you.
Thank you so much.